What is going on, YouTube? Brock the AC here, doing a update for you guys. Real quick before I get started, just want to say a shout out to everyone who commented on my last video. Thank you all for your interest for the cards, but someone reached out to me via Facebook and he bought my whole binder. So shout outs to you. Thank you for reaching out to me and purchasing the whole binder full of super rares and promos and random cards. So much appreciated. Thank you guys again for messaging me. I pretty much got rid of all those cards. I don't believe I have any extras of whatever was inside my binder, so sorry for the people who try to reach out, but you know, I still have a whole bunch of cards left in my collection. I have kept a couple of super rares, you know, random, both current and old sets and stuff. And I have a whole bunch of like commons, staples, rares and all that stuff that are in decks right now, and I still have a whole bunch of decks anyways regardless. So if anybody's interested in that, please hit me up. Otherwise I am currently sold out of my super rares. It was a sad thing for me to let go, but maybe down the road I'll probably pick it up later. But it was a pretty decent collection that I've had within the probably 2 years of me playing and collecting Naruto. Yes, so today I brought a special update. I am doing a deck profile, actually, of an OTK deck. Yes, an OTK deck in quote block format, which means sets 22 through 28. I wanted to revisit an old OTK theme, which was a mill theme that revolved a couple cards, and wanted to see how it kind of fanned out with the current meta, I guess you could say, even though there's no really meta right now. Yeah, I just wanted to test out to see how it would do. It's not a competitive deck, because of course Mill would definitely lose against Revitalize and whatnot, but regardless, it's a fun casual deck if you want to troll people. If you got some friends that you just want to piss off randomly, it's a fun deck to have, and it's not that expensive of a deck. It's fairly affordable, because I don't really run any crazy super rares or even any super rares at all, so it should be a pretty decent deck build if you guys are interested. But yeah, enough of me talking. Let's just go straight to it. I'll tell you the concept while I go through, and it's a Fire Water Mill OTK deck. Turn zeros. I ran 3 Sasuke Childhoods. I believe he's from set 23, Invasion. Basically, when he's put in play or removed from play, your opponent mills the top 2 cards of their deck to their discard pile, so they're already milling, which is great. I mean, you get 4 mills off by just chump blocking and putting him in play, and if he uses growth, then I could put a +1 coin on one of my other ninjas. This is a good solid card. You're mainly chump blocking till mid to late game, where your combos really set off. 3 Hotaru, she's Water Wind. She's great as a combat ninja. She draws right away and helps you discard cards that you don't need. Helps you set up, because discarding your own cards is actually part of the strategy in this deck. I ran 2 Drobo because, you know, it still is nice to get Battle Words, because essentially they're going to be milling their deck. So even if they give up 2 prizes in the beginning, it still helps your cause of just trying to mill them out. You might even put some of the revitalized cards, like Choji or something that they'd have randomly, or Asuma, in their prizes. So Drobo is a good 0 drop to have. It beats out a lot of zeros. I ran 2 Kisuke's because he's ultimate chump blocker. He comes back alive. Dual symbol. He's a great card to have overall. And I ran 1 Sea Monster just to combat against stuff like Sasuke Solo and random rush cards that kind of prove to be troublesome. And it's water. 1-drops. This is the proxy for the super rare Naruto from TP4. Basically, the super rare Naruto reads that during the EOJ you could discard the top 3 cards of your discard pile. Or sorry, top 3 cards of your deck, and you get +1 for each. You get +1. And then you could do this up to 3 times per turn, so you could mill 9 of your cards, which is really, really important. The same concept is actually very similar to Revitalize, where you're trying to mill off your own deck, so Naruto helps fulfill that requirement, but again, you don't want to mill yourself out so much, so I only put 2, but Naruto, super rare, keep that in mind, is really important. I don't have him, I sold him a long time ago, and I only had 1. I ran 2 Tamaris because it's really important for your opponent to not have Jitsus in their hand, because you're gonna win through Jitsus, through the EOJ. So it's really, really important for Tamari to be there to get rid of their Jitsus, get rid of their early Jitsus so that you don't get rushed so hard, and get rid of their mid to late Jitsus that could kind of make your ninja stand by. Because you have a Jitsu that kind of can't be negated if it meets the requirements. 2-drops. 2 Shinos. This card is essentially like another Tamari, but it does get rid of, important cards for your opponent. If I feel like, if I drop him on turn 2, if I have a Jitsu, I'll either get rid of a Jitsu or like a mission, or, depending on the situation. Shino is a good tech card for any deck. You look at their hand, they, what is that, the discard? You move it to the bottom and they have to redraw 1. But you basically just take out, any of their options of deploying a ninja, playing a mission during that turn, or using a Jitsu. So Shino's there just so he could kind of take options out. And he also has Revitalize, which is nice in case you mill him out. You're able to refill him. And 1 Shikamaru. He's pretty cool because during your mission you could pay 1 random. If I control another Earth Ninja, I can move a couple cards back to my deck from my discard pile. So if something I mill out through Naruto is there, I could kind of put it back. And but I'm mainly using, if I control another Fire Ninja, my opponent discards the top 2 cards of their deck. So this Shikamaru is great. It has milling purposes, it's dual symbol, it has 4 mental power, which is great against mental decks, and it has 3 support, which is awesome behind the turn 1 Naruto. 3-drops. 2 Obito, a must in any type of mill deck. When he's put in play, you discard 2 Fire Chakra, and your opponent mills the top 5 cards of their deck, and then you get a little bonus also on top of that. And if somehow I have 2 Wind, which I highly doubt I will, but I have Hotaru in it, you could remove a ninja for a turn, basically. But his main purpose is, milling your opponent and cracking into Danzo the next turn. The other 2 cards is 2 Tobi. I needed a card that could search out for my game-winning combos. So it's, if you don't have, like 3-4 cards, your deck won't work. So Tobi searches for Jitsus, basically. I have missions that search for ninjas, but I need a means of searching for my game-winning Jitsus, and Tobi searches for a card and basically move it to the discard pile when it's removed from play and move that card back to your hand. It's just a good tool to search anything. Granted that you're going to give them a battle word, if it's well worth it if you're going to be able to hit that combo. Tobi and Obito both have Genjutsu, and I play Patriarch, so I gotta search out for either one of those or my late game ninja, which I'll tell you in a bit. 4-drops. 3 Four-Tails. He's one of the main users of Jitsus. Four-Tails is incredibly good for defensive purposes and as a main user of Jitsus. He could damage your opponent if he gets damaged, pretty much. And then there's another effect with Jitsus. I'm just kind of lazy to read it off. But yeah, he's a user of one of my Jitsus, and as you could probably tell from the latest set 28, there's a card called Great Blazing Eruption, which can only be used by Four-Tails, and that pretty much mills the top 10 cards of your opponent's deck. So it's crazy. This card is really good. I also ran 1 5 tails because there's another Jitsu that I needed as a animal user. Or not an animal user, but like a 4-drop. And an animal user, I guess, too, is possible. I forgot about the other card, but 5 tails is just another card. He's water, and you know, if he wins a victory somehow, you know, if I want to be aggro, I could draw a card out of it. 5 drops. I ran 3 of these Kakashis. There's being proxied, but I think this is still block format. If not, then you know, that's fine. I'd replace it with like a couple different cards, but this Kakashi at least says valid during the EOJ. Fire and lightning jutsu cards in your discard pile may be played as though it was in your hand during this turn, and then they're removed from the game when they resolve. And then at the end of the turn, I have to discard this a ninja. So he could basically play any of the discard jutsus that are fire as though they're in my hand. It's still got to pay the cost, but you know, it's kind of like a way of utilizing and searching for jutsus that I need. And this Kakashi is amazing for doing so. Again, this card kind of seals the deal if I'm able to do that. If I'm able to search for all those jutsus. Last card is 1 Kasame from Invasion. When he's put in play, my opponent discards 3 chakra. And my opponent's jutsu cards cost 1 more to play, so he essentially gets rid of chakra. If I don't have Kakashi out, and I need to stall for 1 more turn, Kasame is just good for getting rid of my opponent's chakra, making sure they don't have huge jutsus to, you know, counter. So Kasame is good for that. Let's go with the missions. 3 Axis of Evil. This card is great because it sets up your discard pile for jutsus for Kakashi to use. Axis of Evil, basically it's a turn 1 water/fire mission, and you search for a card, put it in your discard pile, and then you get a draw out of it. And then if you have 5 battle words, you search for 2 cards, put it to your discard pile, and draw 2. So Axis of Evil is amazing because it sets up your discard pile, like I said, for Kakashi to pick up. Basically, you use Axis of Evil, you put in those jutsus that you need, and then Kakashi picks them up during the EOJ, and it's a great setup. 3 Alliance of Evil. This is an awesome card to make sure that your opponent doesn't play. Again, like I said, jutsu prevention is extremely important. So the effect is discard every player's chakra. I won't be really using my chakra, and I don't even really need any chakra because all of those I kind of combo off of with. So I'm not really playing any jutsus in the beginning until I get to turn 4/turn 5. So I don't mind killing my own chakra in order for me to, you know, hit my combo. And if they have 8 or more, I could play for free, but, you know, it's not going to really happen too much. In this format, at least. 3 Warhawks, it's the best fire draw mission in the game, and make sure that I kind of get the cards that I need and save all that. And last 2 is 2 Patriarch. Patriarch is great because it searches out for my main cards, which is Kakashi, Obito if I need it, Toby if I need it, any of my 4 tails. Basically, it copies the combat attribute, and combat attribute is the bottom right area right over there, and a ninja card. This one being flame, so yeah. Basically, Patriarch says you search for the same combat attribute and you move it to your hand. And Toby and Obito have Genjutsu, so I could search out for Kakashi, which also has Genjutsu, so it's a good way to kind of tutor the cards that I need for the deck in order to hit my combos. I believe the turn 1 super rare Naruto is also Fang, and so are my 4 tails and 5 tails. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, this like almost 5 a.m. and I'm kind of blanking on my brain cells, but yeah, it could search for all those stuff too. Now, the combos of the deck. Fang over Fang, and water style exploding water shockwave. This is a main combo of the deck. Granted that you will have 3 exploding shockwaves. Exploding Fang over Fang. I don't know what kind of deck you want to call it. But yeah. Basically, you want to have at least one of these in your hand, or Kakashi could kind of basically bring it back to your hand as though you're playing it in your hand. So as long as you have these in use, either your hand or via the discard pile through Kakashi's effect, you could pretty much OTK them. So here's the idea. So Fang of Fang costs 1 fire and 1 X. X you're gonna pay whatever according to the cost. So the requirements are animal. That's why I play 4 tails or 5 tails. So you're gonna expect 4 tails to be pretty much the main user of Fang over Fang. The main effect is that your opponent discards X cards from the top of their deck to their discard pile. When X is greater than 5, this Jitsu cannot be negated or affected by Jitsus, which is great. So like I said earlier, if you're able to get rid of their Jitsus that kind of make ninja standby, that's really the only way that they'll be able to get rid of, you know, my users if they make it a standby, because they can't negate Fang over Fang if I use my if I pay for X. If I see that they have no means of negating or preventing, you know, my fire, then I'll chain to water style exploding water shockwave. Basically, you pay 1 water. It just costs 4 more, so you could either use, you know, your 4 tails or your Kakashi or whatever you need to. And basically, it says move any amount of cards from your discard pile to your shock area, and then at the end of the turn, discard cards from your shock area until you have only 2. So basically, your whole point on your deck is to mill your own deck, while at the same time you're milling theirs, you know, via a few cards here and there. And then you're going to move all those cards back to your shocker area for just that 1 turn, and you're going to play Fang over Fang, pretty much. You're going to let that resolve. You're going to pay 1 fire, and you're going to use all those chakras that you kind of move from your discard pile to your shocker area, and you're going to mill that many off of your opponent's deck. Crazy, right? It doesn't happen all the time, but that's the main combo of the deck. And like I said, you have Kakashi is like the main one of the main pretty much starters to help everything happen. Just get rid of their shocker, make sure they don't have it, play like 10-10 or play Kasame or any type of means, Alliance of Evil, to get rid of their shocker area. Make sure you have, you know, these cards handy, and make sure you have at least a fire and a water shocker to kind of kill it off. And when they're milling off, you know, effects, they might still have revitalized ninjas, but you know, they're right around the corner of pretty much milling themselves out. So Fang over Fang pretty much initiates everything, and water style exploding shockwave basically gets all your discard pile cards into your shock area. Very crazy combo. I don't know who came up with it, but very cool idea, very unique idea. And I think it's a lot of fun, and especially if you hit it, it's like your opponent's like, what the fuck? They can't do anything. Excuse me for my language. That's the main combo. The last 2 Jitsus that I ran was Great Blazing Eruption. In case, you know, I wasn't able to hit those combos, I'd still have a chance to just milling them out through these effects. Because Great Blazing Eruption pretty much says it's required by 4 tails, and your opponent discards the top 10 cards of your deck. So it's an amazing card, and you have so many cards that kind of discard them already. Like Sasuke is discarding like 4 cards. Shikamaru could discard, you know, another 4. You have Obito who's discarding 5, and then you have, you know, this Jitsu. So, and then in addition to them drawing cards and giving off battle awards and maybe milling off random stuff, it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's my deck. That's again is just my take on the current block format of set 22 through 28. I like making unique decks, and I kind of don't really like to play too much of the meta. That's just who I am. And I think it's pretty interesting. It's a fun deck. Try it out. If you guys have some of the cards, it'd be cool. We could trade something or work something out if any of you guys have the Naruto or whatever. I do have the water explosion jutsu somewhere, but if anybody has spares, hit me up. Otherwise, yeah, rate, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions on how things work in this deck, shoot me a PM or just comment in the message box. And if you guys want to see any type of decks created, hit me up. I'm down to create decks. That's what I love doing. And I really value my deck building skills, because I think it's pretty solid, pretty decent. Not like, you know, the best or anything, but I do think I make pretty decent decks. And yeah, just rate, comment, subscribe. I've been playing Pokemon X for like 35 hours, and I'm just so freaking tired. It's just lots of grinding. Well, not too much grinding, actually. They definitely bumped up the experience, leveling up Pokemon and stuff. I think it's a pretty solid game. I'll give it like a 8.5 out of 10. If I had to review everything, I didn't even beat the Elite Four yet, but I'm like at my 8th badge. I'm just leveling up random Pokemon and trading. So if you guys have a Pokemon X or Y, shoot me your PM code so we can get some Safari stuff down. And yeah, hit me up. I have NBA 2K14 for the PS3, Grand Theft Auto also, with my crew 12 Apostles, pretty BA name. And I don't know what I'm going to get next. I know Call of Duty Ghost comes out in a couple weeks. I'm not sure if I'm going to get that, because I'm really digging Battlefield. There's so many games coming out, and so little time, but yeah. Rate, comment, subscribe, and thank you for the viewers who just randomly see this, or the people who have been subscribed to me for the longest time. Thank you guys, and more videos to come. I've been meaning to upload some matches, some random matches for you guys to watch, so hit me up, send me a PM if you guys want any type of trading, if you guys want to build any type of deck or any type of questions, rules or whatever. Shoot me a message. Alright, thanks guys, and peace, and have a pretty crazy day.